So first step to install it is to go unity.com/download, click download for Windows, and it will download the Unity Hub setup. Okay, because it actually has a little sort of installer that you install, and then it's a hub that allows you to install different versions. Because when you make an actual proper product, you don't really always want to keep changing the versions of Unity because it might break your code or game. What you want to be doing is installing and keeping the same version throughout the process. So there's my, it will install it because I already had the hub installed, install it to the folder, and then this will come up. Now this has come up for me because I already have a project in Unity that uses this version 20.21 LTS. And the reason I'm using this because it's a project that I'm going to put on the App Store, and LTS stands for long-term support. So it means that there's a lot of support for this version, and it means it's officially supported. Whereas the new versions might have sort of, maybe they should be bug tested, but they haven't been quite as bug tested as maybe this version has, which is ready for sort of app development. However, I think the ones at school, so you may as well install them because they fix the bugs very quickly. So I'm going to go into installs, I'm going to go install editor, and I'm going to pick the very latest version, which is this one here, 20.22. Okay, you often see they recommend the long-term support for actual released products. There will be a 2022 long-term support one soon. It looks like they do it around about version 3, 3 and 4. We're on version 1, so probably by Christmas this will have a long-term support version, and maybe I'll upgrade my project to this, but often that involves a lot of fiddling, and sometimes things I've bought, add-ons don't work, so maybe I won't do that. But anyway, you can have more than one version installed, so it doesn't matter. So I'm going to install this one because it pretty much matches. Now when you click install, this is going to come up, okay? So if, to get to this, by the way, in case you want to get to this bit, if a thing comes up telling you to install, you just click skip, and you get to here. Then you click install editor, and you go down to the latest version, this one here, you press install. Now it's going to ask you what you want. You definitely want Visual Studio 2019 installed. I'm not going to bother in this version to have Android, iOS, or this weird OS, whatever that is, or Linux support, but I will have WebGL build support. You don't have to do this yourself. I'll explain what that is. WebGL is going to mean that you can always add these later, by the way, by going back into here. But WebGL means that I can export this as a web game, basically, and I might do that for some starters for the lessons or whatever. We could do that. If you wanted to do Android and iOS, the reason I'm not quite so... it's not as simple, just click these buttons and it's all good. There is quite a lot of setup to doing those, and maybe later on I'll do those videos. But iOS anyway, you need to be an iOS developer to actually get something on the iOS store, which means you A, have to have a Mac or at least a serial code, B, you have to pay. I think you maybe have to do with Android, but it might be once in a lifetime payment. But Android, you don't have to put things on the App Store to put it on your phone. You can just make it an APK and put it on your phone and install it. iOS, the only way in theory is to get it on your phone is to do this sort of, you register the device as a developer device, and it's not as simple. Whereas if you want to make a game for Android and send it to your friends, you just click this button, install it, build it as Android, it builds a file and you send it to them in an email. That's it. You can even have your phone plugged in and do run to phone, but iOS is not as easy as that. So anyway, so I'm just going to do web build. Okay, none of the language packs unless you particularly want them. I don't even know what languages these are, but anyway, so that's what you need. You press continue. I've read the agreement, blah blah blah, and then you press install. Right, now at some point after quite a long wait, you're going to get to this part where it's going to ask you what parts of Visual Studio do you want to install. Now this is important because if you were just using Unity, then it's all fine. You just tick this box here that says game development with Unity, right? Okay, doesn't make sense, obviously it makes sense. We are going to tick that, and we're going to definitely have that on there. But there are some other bits that we want because we generally want to do some other stuff. But I'm just going to see if they're in here. C#. Yeah, C# on Visual Basic, C# on Visual Basic. Just checking all the ones because, yeah. So basically, you've got to tick this one. And then up here, you want Universal Windows Platform Development, C#, and you want .NET Desktop Development. Now, I will explain these more later. But just understand, for a really simple thing, this will build C# programs, and it installed Visual Basic and F#. Never even heard of F#. Which allows you to do Windows programs. So basically interacting with Windows forms and making something like Paint or something. And this will create like more console applications, like what Python looked like before. So we're going to learn in this. We might do some of this, but we'll learn the core of C# in it. So basically, tick this box. Make sure I'm going to install Python because that's just a personal thing. You don't have to do that. But Python is in here somewhere. I'm just going to install Python. You could, I mean, it only adds a few more bits. Whatever. And don't make sure that Unity is ticked there. So you could tick Python in case people want to do some Python for fun, or you want to reminisce. But anyway, there you go, and you click install, and then you wait a very long time. Right, so everything's installed now, and we get to it. Probably will ask you to do something like sign in. The problem is I've already installed it before many times, so it may just automatically sign in for me. It's free to register. It doesn't really do anything. You don't need to do it. It might ask you about dark mode and light mode. I really can't remember. Dark mode is just dark like this. Light mode is light grey. You choose. And we get to this point, and I will talk about this point in the next thing, because this is where kind of Unity and C# sort of completely split in the way you would use them. And I'm going to focus on C# first of all, because that's the main thing we need to learn. Best walk before we can run. So I'm going to go into that. So I'm going to end the video here and then go on to how to create a console project in the next video.